There are 3 things you need to know if you want to build a successful brand or business using social media. First, you need to use mission-driven marketing. And not knowing what this is or ignoring it altogether is the single biggest reason that most social media marketing campaigns out there just don't work at all. So in this video, I'll show you exactly what that is and how to use it to your advantage. Next, you need to understand a psychological phenomenon called confirmation bias, which sounds way more complicated than it is, and basically just comes down to showing you share and support the beliefs and opinions of your audience and customers, which is going to earn you a ton of trust and loyalty very quickly. So I'll show you a simple way to do this in just a minute as well. Finally, you need to follow a simple 3-step formula that I call hookem, shookem, bookem, which I appreciate isn't technically grammatically correct, but it works. And it's the best way to turn all of the new likes and comments and followers and subscribers that you're going to be getting into customers and brand ambassadors for your business. So let me show you how it's done, starting by using the all-important mission-driven marketing. The problem with most social media marketing plans and strategies out there today is that they're often full of relatively useless pieces of advice and superficial information, telling you things like how the key to success is to just post more. Yeah, but how much more? Or to make better content. Yeah, but what kind of better content? What does better even mean? Or how all you need to do is hustle 24 hours a day, sacrifice everything you've ever known and loved, and commit yourself to studying the algorithm in hopes that one day they reward you with a viral post. I haven't seen my family in 3 months. I mean, yikes. This is why the first step in any social media marketing strategy is to first identify and clarify the mission of your marketing. In other words, what are the goals, the objectives, and the desired outcomes that you're hoping to achieve? Or to put it more bluntly, what are you doing all this social media stuff for in the first place? Taking just a few minutes to write down answers to these questions at the start of your marketing can save you countless hours and thousands of dollars further down the road by saving you from wasting your time and money and energy on things that really didn't have a chance of working in the first place. For example, is your goal just to get more likes, more comments, and more shares? If so, that's actually really easy. And a simple, targeted paid advertising campaign through using Facebook ads or Instagram ads, well, it's gonna get you all the likes you could ever want. But as I like to say, you can't feed your kids with likes. So you might also want to think of a plan that's going to allow you to turn all of those likes and comments and shares into actual leads and customers and sales for your brand and business. If you're just getting started with all of this though, there are a few metrics and analytics and KPIs, fancy talk for key performance indicators that you may want to keep in mind. The first metric is impressions, and this occurs anytime that any of your stuff shows up in front of someone. Generally speaking, more impressions is a good thing. To get a little deeper here though, impressions is made up of 2 other metrics known as reach and frequency. Reach is the number of unique people that have seen your content, and frequency is the number of times that they've seen it. So for easy math here, if you've got a piece of content that reaches 100 people and it reaches them 2 times each, well, you've made 200 impressions. Okay, next are 2 metrics that come with an obvious and a not so obvious explanation. The first is called audience growth rate. The obvious part is that this metric tracks how fast your audience is growing. The not so obvious part is figuring out what kind of people this audience is made up of and whether they're the right fit for you or not. The next metric is audience engagement rate. The obvious part is that this metric tracks how much your audience is engaging with your content. See, marketing's pretty simple. The not so obvious part is trying to find that sweet spot between the right audience size and engagement for you. Generally speaking, a smaller but more engaged audience is worth a whole lot more than a larger but less engaged audience. And this is why it's just so incredibly important to get clear on what metrics and what goals and what objectives you're aiming for right from the start. And whatever you decide, make sure to write it down. This is important because at the end of your campaign, you want to be able to look back and see what you were aiming for and whether what you did was successful or not. That said, one of the best ways to make whatever goal you're trying to achieve successful is to use this next tip right here, which is confirmation bias. But before I show you that, first a real quick message from this video's sponsor, Munch. Munch, aside from having an amazing name, is also on a mission to help content marketers decide what content to create, how to repurpose it, distribute it, engage with their fans, and make sure they maximize their return on content creation investment. What Munch does is use the power of AI to comb through your long-form videos and pick out the most engaging moments to use as clips that you can share on other social media platforms. How it works is that you can upload your video or just paste a link to your content, tell Munch the target social platforms you're aiming for, and then basically just go grab a cup of coffee or read a book or write a song. I got the I was out for brunch, thinking about munch, thinking about the tasty visit. I could clip a bunch, more than a hunch. These clips I'll pack a punch. I'll snip them, post them, still have time for lunch. Or do whatever else you want while your video is being analyzed, automatically edited, and adjusted for each platform. Munch is kinda like having your own video editor, but faster, cheaper, and completely automated. Munch also auto-crops the video to the right aspect ratio for each platform while making sure the most relevant and important visuals are always inside the frame. You can start using the auto-crop completely free now, or go for a trial of the automatic clip generation and no credit card is required. So make sure to check out the link in the descriptions below this video and sign up for your free Munch account right after this video. So with that said, next let me show you how to use the powerful psychological phenomenon of confirmation bias to build your brand now. Let's play a game. I'm gonna ask you a simple question and I want you to hit the buzzer as soon as you see the right answer come up. We didn't mail them the buzzers? How are they gonna play? Okay, so apparently we're just gonna have to do this based on the honor system, so here goes. Which type of people do you like the most and feel the strongest connection towards? Is it A, people that like and believe the same things that you do, or B, people that don't like or believe anything that you do? Okay, thumbs up. So my friend, how'd you do? Well, if you're like 99% of the people out there, then the odds are pretty good that you went with option A. This is because we, as humans, tend to like people that like the same things that we do. And we actively seek out and engage with others who share our same views and beliefs and values, and essentially who confirm our identities and how we view ourselves. The flip side of that, though, is that when we're faced with new information or information that goes against our beliefs or values or identities, most people immediately and often subconsciously write that information off as false. They call the messenger a liar, or a fool, or the worst insult of all, a cotton-headed ninny-muggins.
That's shocking.
So if your goal is to build a successful brand and business through social media, then you absolutely, positively, supercalifragilisticexpialidociously need to be talking about things that your current and desired audience believes, supports, and identifies with. And the way to do this is to really try to put yourself into your customers, your audience, and your followers' shoes. Not literally, of course. Hey, give me back my shoes. It's cold. But by being empathetic and understanding and creating your content in a way that makes them feel heard and acknowledged and understood. After all, customers don't buy when they understand, they buy when they feel understood. So the best and fastest and arguably easiest way to do this is to try to identify the things that most of them have in common. Now, it could be demographic details like that most of them are men or women or fall within a certain age range. Or it could be geographic similarities, like maybe they all live in the same city or state or province or country. But more likely, it's gonna come down to some kind of overlapping similarity in psychographic characteristics. Like maybe they all love hiking, or coding, or cooking, or volunteering. All right, next, let me show you how to put this all together using the framework that I call hookem, shookem, bookem. The path to building a successful brand and business today has never been more clear, and there are countless examples of people doing this every day all around you. From businesses that started small and local, like Jenny's Ice Cream that now has over 400,000 followers, to health and fitness coaches like my friend Brix, who's got over 700,000 subscribers. And even smaller, more niche down brands and businesses like my man Jason, who talks about old analog film cameras and photography on his channel Grainy Days. Their content, as well as most of the other popular social media accounts out there, all follow a simple formula or framework that acts to get someone's attention, build a considerable amount of the 3 key business ingredients of know, like, and trust, and work to turn passive viewers into raging fanboys and fangirls. But for every Jenny's and Brix and Jason, well, there's 1,000 others doing it wrong. So let's make sure you get this right by following a simple system to create engaging and brand building and, dare I say, even viral content for social, which is where hookem, shookem, bookem comes into play. So here's how it works, starting with step 1, hookem. All right, fun fact for you here today. Fair or not, it's not the best business that wins, but the business with the best marketing. This is because nobody can buy from you if they don't know you exist. And nobody will buy from you if they know that you exist, but they don't know why they should care or how doing business with you is going to help them. This is why the first thing you need to do with all of your content is to hook them. Give them a reason to tune in, pay attention, stick around, and actually care about what you have to say. This is why the first part of pretty much all of your content, whether we're talking about a social media post, a sales page, a video, a podcast, whatever, needs to be focused on them. Their pains, their problems, their fears, their frustrations, all of the challenges and obstacles that they're trying to overcome. Basically, just show them that you get them. You know who they are, and you've got something that they may be interested in. As an example, this is exactly how I introduced this video when I said there are 3 things you need to know if you want to build a successful brand or business using social media. But let me give you some more examples as well, like say if you're selling residential solar panels. Well, your intro hook could be something like, are you a homeowner who's tired of high, expensive monthly hydro bills? It needs a little polishing, but I think you get the point. An alternative hook here is you could just come right out and say it by letting them know that solar powers provide the cleanest and safest and most efficient energy out there available today. Now, I'm not actually sure that's true, but you get the point. Or maybe your brand or business or content is around, say, knitting mittens for kittens. In which case, your intro hook could be something like, do you love your cat more than you love yourself? Oh, that was kind of sad. I hope that's not the case. Well then, show your cat you care with our handmade kitten mittens that'll keep their paws warm all year round. But getting their attention is really just step 1. So next, you need to shook 'em. I really just want to say shake 'em here, but then it doesn't rhyme and the whole thing falls apart, so we're gonna go with shook 'em. Your goal here in the shook 'em phase is simple. Give them value beyond what is worldly possible and blow their minds so they have no other option than to arrive at the clear and logical conclusion that you are a master, a giver, and a person worthy of their follow. Or if that sounds just a little too overwhelming, well, you can just do what I do, which is really just to try to give as much value as you possibly can. That's it. When I sit down to create content or write a post or send an email or work on a course, I go into it with the intention of trying to help as many people as much as I possibly can. And that's really it. Sometimes the stars align and magic is made. Other times I end up with a piece of content that gets 2 likes from my mom. She logs in twice from 2 separate accounts, so I'll feel better. But the beauty of going into this with pure intentions, of actually trying to create something that's going to help people, is that people can tell. They know where your heart is, so do your best to show them something, or teach them something, or entertain them in some way, or essentially just try to make their lives a little bit better. And then move on to the next step, which is to book them. Okay, the book 'em part is pretty simple, but it's arguably the most important step of all. Essentially, the book 'em part of your content is the CTA, the call to action, where you're gonna provide guidance and lead them in the direction that you feel is best for them. For example, at the end of your content, you could ask someone to like, or to subscribe, or to follow, or to do the hokey pokey, or to do whatever you think is gonna give them the most value. Probably not the hokey pokey, unless you sell courses on hokey pokey. Now, this next part's important, so pay really close attention here. What's best for them could very well be to hire you, or to do business with you, or to buy from you. So if that's the case, don't be shy and hold back your offer for fear of offending them or asking too soon, as it's not doing them or you any good at all. That said, in the case of this video right here, I think the thing that I could give you next that's going to provide you the most amount of value is some more of my best marketing strategies, tools, tips, tricks, and tactics. So in order to do that, I've put together a video right here. Highly suggest you check it out now, and I'll see you in that next video.